Hey friends, Shay here. So today I am here to talk to you about manga that I love that I don't talk about nearly as often as I should. So typically with these are series that are outside of the typical things that I read, or they are complete series that because they're complete, I just don't mention them as much. A few of these are also digital reads that again, I don't talk about as often because they're usually complete, or they're not physically on my shelf for me to hold up for you. So I'm not going to physically hold up anything. I'm just going to insert pictures. Editing Shay might hate me for it later, but that's how we're going to handle it today. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Twinkle Stars by, I believe it's Natsuki Takaya. Yes. This is the same creator as Fruits Basket. This is another really sweet, really fun series. It's contained within 5 omnibuses about a young woman. It's very much a coming of age story and about how she's very connected to constellations and the stars. I don't want to say too much more about this, honestly. I think it serves better when you just kind of go in blind, knowing that it's that great Natsuki Takaya art, and it does have a lot of the same feelings as Fruits Basket to me, but it is still definitely its own story. So this one is another one that I love. I'm happy to reread it in a vlog. If you're interested in seeing any of these series reread in a vlog format, let me know in the comments down below. So the next one is not a complete one, but it's very outside of the norm of what I'm reading, and that is Can't Stop Cursing You. This is essentially a horror series about a man who is a cross between Light Yagami and L from Death Note. He's a very interesting mix of the two. He has a contract with a demon, and he hunts other demons through this contract with his demon. It's very interesting, very dark. It's only going to be 4 volumes. I do have the third one. I just have not read it yet. But the first 2 volumes were absolutely compelling and very intriguing. So this is a series that I would definitely recommend. It will be ending soon, and it's a very short commitment, so you're not spending a ton of money. So it's another one that I would recommend for that reason, especially if you like horror or psychological thriller kinds of stories. This one is right on that border where it's almost too much for me. So for most people, this will be really enjoyable. The next series I'm going to talk about here is After the Rain by Jun Mayuzuki. After the Rain is one of my favorite all-time manga series about a young woman who used to run track and she injures her leg. And it's about how her life changes because of that. And she gets a part-time job at a cafe that gave her a lot of comfort as she was starting to heal, and she has a very special connection with the manager of said cafe. It seems like it's an age gap romance, but I will spoil you in saying that it does not end in them being in a relationship. I love the way this story was handled. I think it was very appropriate for what was going on, and I really am just very pleased with how it was all handled. The art is absolutely stunning, as is all Jun Mayuzuki art. So yes, would 10 out of 10 recommend checking out this series. It is all contained within, again, 5 omnibus volumes. The next one I'm going to talk about that I don't talk about nearly often enough is Fullmetal Alchemist. This was one of my first series that I completed, and Fullmetal Alchemist will always have a piece in my heart. In this story, we're following the Elric brothers, who are 2 young boys who commit the biggest taboo in alchemy that they can in trying to raise their mother from the dead. Because of this, they are cursed. Alphonse no longer has a body and lives within a suit of armor, while Edward lost his arm and his leg. They fully understand alchemy and perform alchemy to amazing levels, and this is all about their journey to getting Alphonse's body back. So that's all I'm going to tell you about this series. It is 27 volumes. Individual volumes. It's contained within omnibuses, and they have the beautiful full metal editions. That's what you're seeing right here. I had completed my collection before I found out these were happening, so I did not get a chance to collect them in this beautiful edition. But I would genuinely recommend reading this series. It's absolutely fantastic. You can also watch Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood if you prefer to watch your shonen, but I think both reading it and watching it hit very differently for me. Even though it's the exact same story, they just hit differently. in a good way, both ways. I enjoyed both formats. Next is Wake Up Sleeping Beauty. Now, this is one that I have mentioned in the past quite a bit, but I just haven't talked about it in almost 2 years, I think. But this is a 6-volume shoujo series in which we're following a young man whose strongest desire is to make money because his mother is hospitalized. So he wants to do everything he can to keep his mom safe and protected in the hospital. And he takes up this cleaning job at an estate with a wealthy family, and over in an annex of the house out by kind of the garden / pool area, there's a young woman there, and she is mysterious. One day he goes up to her and they start up a friendship, and it's how things go from there. There are some paranormal elements to this story that I am not going to disclose because I feel like they're a little bit spoilery, so I'm not going to do that, but honestly, this series is amazing. I would 10 out of 10 recommend it, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. The next one I have here is Carol and Tuesday. The manga for this one is absolutely adorable. I really loved it, and I honestly think that the anime is slightly better because you have the musical elements of it, but in general, I do think the story is just solid enough that the manga is also very, very enjoyable. Carol and Tuesday follows 2 girls named Carol and Tuesday, and about how they start to make music together, and about how they start a music career making music together in this post-apocalyptic kind of town. It's absolutely fantastic. You get to know everybody around them, their rivals, everything, and honestly, it's so amazing. I absolutely love the series, would 10 out of 10 recommend it. The next one on this list, I'm going to shift sides. I keep shifting out of focus. The next one on this list is Dengeki Daisy. Dengeki Daisy is by the same creator that does Queen's Quality that I've been talking about a lot. But Dengeki Daisy is an age gap romance in which it's a brother's best friend kind of romance, which is another trope I really love. But anyways, she is protecting secrets of her brother that she doesn't realize she's protecting, and Daisy is her one confidant in this world, and she starts to become friends with someone who knew her brother, and it's amazing. I absolutely love the series. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil things, but yes, this is an age gap romance, so if you're not okay with age gap romances, this definitely won't be for you because they do end up together by the end. So that's all I'm going to say in that regard, but I absolutely love and adore this series. The art is absolutely fantastic as always, and yes, love, 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 love Dengeki Daisy. I'm due for a reread. So again, if you want to see a reading vlog for that one, let me know. The next one I have here is Red River. Red River is a classic shoujo series that was originally released by Viz. They do have it available digitally, but physical copies are very hard to find of this series. I have read the first 10 volumes. I absolutely love and adore what I've read so far. I do need to get back to it. And collecting it physically is kind of not able to happen. So if Viz ever decides to bring back a classic shoujo series, they should bring back Red River because all of us want it. Anyways, Red River is an isekai style story in which this woman is transported back into like ancient Egyptian kind of times. And she is connected to the prince of that era, and things go from there. I don't want to say too much because I feel like it'll give away too much of the story, but the story is amazing. I think it just came out at the wrong time for shoujo fans because shoujo fans didn't have nearly as much momentum in the US as they do now. So I do hope that Viz will revisit this series. I would love for it to get some beautiful hardcover editions because I would totally spend all my money on it. The next one is a digital only series right now. It might be getting physically released. I can't remember, but that is Our Precious Conversations. This is by the same creator that does My Little Monster, but this is about a girl who finally gets up the guts to tell the guy that she's been crushing on that she has feelings for him. He basically says, well, that's rude of you. I don't even know you and you're forcing your feelings on me. And they start to get to know one another, and it's about how these conversations that they have that are very deep and intellectual in ways, but casual and fun in other ways, start to have him changing his feelings about the girl he's getting to know. It's so sweet. It's so cute. I love the art in this one. Again, one of my all-time favorites, but I know I don't talk about it nearly often enough because it is digital and because the volumes don't come out as often, and so I'm not as current on this one as I am on other series. So yes, Our Precious Conversations, please, please, please read the series. It's absolutely fantastic. And then last but not least on this list is just a fun, smutty one for my smutty loving friends, and that is Love Massage. This is essentially about a woman who receives erotic massage from this beautiful man and about how they form a romantic relationship through him coming to visit her and give her erotic massages. There does enter a third party into the story later. In my opinion, they should have all just been together and it would have been fine, but of course it does the love triangle situation here. It's a total of 7 volumes, but it's really fun. I really enjoyed it. It's a good smutty time. Would 10 out of 10 recommend it if you're just looking for a good smutty time. Banging is mostly the plot. There is a little bit of an overarching story related to the massage parlor and where she works and things like that, but it's not integral to the story. The biggest part is the relationships and the banging. So just know that going in, but man, it's a great time and I'm due for a reread of that one too. So my friends, that's all I've got to say in this particular video. Let me know in the comments down below what manga series you love that you may not necessarily talk about as much, or maybe not as many people have heard of it. If you're here just because you love me, leave me a star emoji and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Was it all just a dream, just all in my